Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over some rare earth. It's looking pretty good. Rare earth strategic metals, REMX. Looks like we're breaking out here. Some of the rare earth companies are looking quite good. Lithium's looking like it's starting to get some life into it. And I know last week I said that it hasn't broken its downtrend. Of course, it breaks its downtrend right when I say it. But we can take a look at it. I'm going to show you some historical price data with rare earths versus precious metals. I do have a good exposure to this sector of rare earths. We can talk about a couple of companies, what the charts look like, what I would do. And again, it's just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. But here we go. Let's dive in. So looking at the setup in rare earths, we've got that booty bottom. We've got the volume kicking up on the right-hand side. This to me looks quite like a quite a good entry. Downward, the booty bottom, and then we're starting to come back up. If I were to dive in and look at the daily candlesticks, we're starting to break this downtrend here upward. So we basically have stopped moving lower. We did like kind of a double bottom, and now we're starting to move higher. And I think if we can break kind of this area there, we're starting a new uptrend. But we've broken the downtrend, and that's the first step, is breaking that downtrend. And it's looking quite good for REMX, or the rare earth metals, just in general. We also have the chart pattern bottom, which looks good. The volume kicking in. Everything looks fantastic from a technical perspective. So yeah, I bought in. I actually bought in twice now. I bought in this section down here on the break, and then I'd be buying over here as well. So I have a good amount allocated to REMX, this ETF. It pays a 5.4% dividend. The chart looks pretty good. We've got a bottoming pattern that looks good. Looking at Lithium, LIT, this one looks like it's breaking out of its downtrend line to the upside. We'll see if this thing holds. These could be related to strength in the NASDAQ. So I don't know if this strength will continue. I don't know if how well correlated they are to the NASDAQ and a lot of these technology companies, but they are breaking out of its downtrend. I'm just going ahead and sharing this. MP Materials looks quite compelling here. We've got a nice good squeeze up here for potential break to the upside. Could this squeeze out a little bit more and we come back? It could. It very well could. But it's looking good. We've got the squeeze. It's there. It's happening. And we've got the resistance line right at about 47, right about almost where it's at, $47.50, $48, something like that. We got to close above it and break. So that's looking good, and the ETF broke out. Some of these other ones look quite compelling, like Rare EF, and I'm not buying any of these guys. I'm not playing the small little guys for this, but that's got a kind of a squeezing up and a breakout. REEMF's another one that looks kind of compelling here, where this thing's going back and forth, and how this thing kind of comes down and could potentially come back up. Again, I don't own anything in it. Some of the lithium type stuff and other rare earths, like Lynas rare earth, is already broken to the upside. This thing has already had a pretty big run. I don't know if I'd be chasing it up here, but I mean, it's had a pretty good run. And it maybe has a lot more in it. It might have a lot more in it. Livent, this one's, I think, a lithium company, I believe, and it's doing a retest. We've got IXR, which is Ionic Rare Earths Limited. This thing looks ridiculous as well, like it wants to take off. The volume on the right-hand side is really pumping in here. Breakout, back test, and then a move higher. This is Portofino Resources. This one has some metals and lithium projects. This guy was brought up by a comment, a user. This looks like it wants to break. ARRL, which is American Rare Earths Limited. This thing's had a pretty massive run on the right side here. So that one, I wouldn't probably chase it, but who knows? I mean, these things could run. We've got Piedmont Lithium's doing pretty well. stair-stepping higher. We've got ARRL Corporation. That's got a pretty big pullback. Looking at it. LAC, Lithium Americas Corporation. This one doesn't look too bad to me. Coming on down. It's broken to the upside. And then this is my kind of favorites, Lithium American Corporation. The volume stepping in. It's got that barrel pattern. Hopefully we can do some crazy things with it. It's got a very good valuation in terms of enterprise value to the resource that it has in the ground. Now, I've got a chart here. This is rare earth prices versus gold and silver. This is neodymium, dysprosium, and cerium of the 2011 bull market. And this was the squeeze and the difference between the two price moves of rare earths versus gold and silver. Now, is this going to happen again? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but I can tell you this was a big squeeze. And the majority of these metals are all in China. So China controls this. And if they want to squeeze it, if the world wants a whole bunch of rare earths and they don't have it, I think the prices are going to go probably pretty ridiculous. So this is the difference between the two bull markets. I mean, this doesn't even look like gold and silver was in a bull market compared to how much these went up. So I think having some exposure to rare earths through this next commodity bull market, I think is pretty prudent because the returns could be quite ridiculous if we get in another scenario like this where it squeezes all up. Now, I don't know if we are, but having some exposure, I think, is prudent. It's pretty smart. So of those companies, I like Remx probably the best because it's a diversified approach of having exposure to all of these type of metals which they consider to be strategic. And what are some of these things? And we can check it real quick. It's Remx the holdings, and we can. This is what I do: is I go to this, and then I look at the holdings of what's in this company. So here's the holdings that are in it. So I go to the website, I look at the holdings. Pilbara Minerals, Lynas Rare Earth. There's a cobalt company, China Northern Rare Earth, AVZ Minerals, AMG Advanced Metallurgical Group, Lithium, MP Materials. That's the one that I was looking at right there. Xinghe Resources, Remx Holdings, Lithium Americas. That's at LAC, Livent Corp, LTHM, Standard Lithium. So basically, this is a rare earth lithium, cobalt, a couple of other minerals ETF. So it's basically a play on batteries, more or less. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, this is a one that looks really good. If you think we need, we'll call it battery storage. And a lot of the things that I've read is we put all these renewables in, but we have no way of storing it. And if we go on some large battery binge, so to speak, I think the rare earths are going to do pretty well, and renewables. So the renewables, like a lot of the rare earths with the magnets and stuff are in renewables. That is what is valuable in it. Same with the electric motors. So electric motors and renewable, like wind generators and stuff, they're going to use a lot of this. So it's called the electric motor driven. It's basically motors and generating electricity is where those magnets are used. And then all the rest is battery type stuff. So if that seems like it's interesting to you and if that has good fundamentals, which it does, in my opinion, I think Remx is the spot to be. And maybe some of these rare earth companies, in my opinion, are looking quite good right now. Lithium also looks somewhat interesting and could potentially be a good investment. We've got a huge market balance deficit coming in 2023, 2024 for lithium and a lot of these other minerals. So from a market balance perspective and inventory perspective, they're all going to squeeze up here at some point. And here's your chance to buy it at what I think is a really good area of a breakout line, a retest of the breakout line, and then a downtrend break just recently. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Finding That Value.